What's going on, everybody? Brian here with Blackburn in Tech. So in this video, I want to go over using public key infrastructure in order to secure your SSH access. If you're not familiar with it, basically you have some cryptography keys that you'll have, and it uses that to verify your identity. In this example, we're going to use a Pfsense firewall, but you can pretty much apply it to anything. You just have to check with your vendor and see on how that they choose to apply it. So let's go ahead and jump over to the lab and take a look. Alright, so over here in the lab, as you can see, we're logged into the firewall, nothing fancy. This is one that we've been playing with in quite a few other videos that I've done. So first things first, we have to turn on SSH, which is not on by default. That's under System, Advanced. And then if you scroll all the way down, I already have this turned on, but you would tick this little checkbox right here. But notice on how it says SSH keys only. So password or public key, you can use either or right now. But maybe I want to only have a public key, or maybe I want to add additional security and I want to require both. You have to have that public key and you have to have your password. This is where you would set this, as well as if you're changing any ports or anything, this is where that would be. Then you scroll down and click Save. As you see, I already had mine enabled, so I'm just going to click Save anyway. There we go. So in order to create keys, you have to have a key generator. If you have let's say PuTTY, for example, typically you'll get one of their key generators. I think it's called KeyGen, I think is their name of it. It'll look something like this. And this is a free product, so you can go ahead and go download this. Is kind of nice to have. So for example, you'll just click Create. And I'm using just some RSA keys, but you can choose what you want on there. What I like to do is I like to save my public and my private key. So I will click Save. We'll go ahead and save it on the desktop, that's fine. And we're going to name this public so I know which one it is. And it'll give you a warning if you don't set a password for it for your private key. So I'm going to say PRI. So I know that that's the private key. What you'll need is this information right here, though. Let me see if I can zoom in again. So this is what you'll need in your key file for. So we're just going to go ahead and copy all of this. Make sure you get it all. That's the hard part, I think, of doing this. So go ahead and copy all of it. And then under your users, for Pfsense anyway, this is where you'd go, under your user management. I'm going to create another user here, and we will go ahead and give this the name SSH admin, for example. And I'm going to give this the weakest password ever. My password is admin, because, you know, unfortunately that seems to be, it happens quite often where people use weak accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and give them full administrative access to this. But right here is where we would apply this. Click and paste this. So hit save, and now that this one can authenticate using the password, let's make sure that I actually have access to it first. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my PuTTY. And this one is on .8, I think. Yes, this is on .8. So we'll change it to 8. And since we're going to specify port 22, click open. And first, I'm just going to make sure this account works. So as you can see, I'm logged in now. No big deal. Okay. But now I want to use that public key that the key infrastructure we created. So I'm going to come back over and open up PuTTY again. But instead of doing it this time, we're going to use that key. So we're going to do .8 port 22 because we're on the SSH. But if you come over here, this is one area that took me a little while to figure out because I didn't really use this that often. If you go under SSH and auth, this is where you'll select where you're going to go for your key. And this is where you'll put your private key. So you go ahead and browse. Where do you have it saved? I have it saved on the desktop here. So I'm going to click this. And when I click open, what I'm expecting is my username to appear, or for me to put in my username, and then it's going to let me in, is what my expected goal is. So I'm going to click open. I'm going to type SSHADMIN. And just like that, I use the key in order to log in. Now, if I wanted to add additional complexity, I could have made it where the drop down was to specify, okay, I want you to be able to use this key, but I also need you to provide your password. So that's another way of having multi-factor authentication on your SSH access. Well, I hope this has been informative, and I appreciate you guys for watching. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and click a like, maybe subscribe. Helps me, helps the channel out. And thank you. Have a good day.